Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to HR Repair. This is Hey Ray. Today, we have an ambulance that has broken down. Luckily, fortunately, I think this was after they dropped the patient off. But what happened with this thing is they suddenly lost power. They said the turbo provided no boost for them, and they want this thing checked out to see what went wrong. Now, they shut it off and restarted it when they went to bring it up here to the shop, and they said it worked just fine. So I suspect something happened that sent this thing into limp mode. At first I was thinking it's possibly a turbocharged air cooler pipe, but I think what happened is it went into limp mode for some reason and they lost power. They couldn't get over 50 mile an hour. So let's hook this thing up to the scan tool and see what we can find. Contact! Okay, so he said it ran just fine coming from the station to my shop, which is about 20 to 25 minutes from us. So we know that the charged air cooler pipe did not break because it wouldn't fix itself like that. But we've got a scan done. Let's come in here, see what's in the PCM. Come on. There's 5 codes, so we will just check here. Trouble codes. Retrieve continuous memory DTCs. 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8. So there's 3 on one side. I wonder if we have a shorted. So one thing that can cause some of this is either a shorted injector. I've seen where a shorted injector will cause, most times it just causes a misfire though. So I wonder if we have possibly a wiring problem coming from the ECM to the injectors, or do we have a connection problem somewhere? But I want to see, let's take this thing on a drive, and I want to see if we can duplicate the problem and see what we find, because we want this thing to be reliable for them. Now, those of you that don't know me very well probably don't know that I volunteer as a paramedic. I used to work full-time as a paramedic till I opened my shop here and got too busy and couldn't be a full-time paramedic anymore. So this kind of hits home with me. I do want to, this is not the town that I volunteer for, but got to help out our brothers because they put in a lot of time to protect their town, and I know they need this thing. All right, let's get this thing. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to take it around the section a little bit. I'm going to accelerate. We are getting a 20 pounds of boost, and I think, yep, it just went to, it has restricted me to 50 miles an hour. So there's something. Now it's taken off again. Now it's slowing down again. Okay. It's not misfiring. So let's turn the corner here. I want to clear the codes on this truck, and let's just see what comes back. I'm hearing a fuel pump noise underneath the truck. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but we're gonna erase the codes. probably kind of risky. But we're going to do that.
Zone 1.
Okay,
Cumberland
so
911.
alright, now we're going to take off again. And let's just see.
Zone 1. Cumberland 911.
Let's accelerate. And it is decelerating. Foot is to the floor, it's still decelerating. Okay. It's not misfiring though. Okay, I think we have a fuel pump problem. Fuel filter, fuel pump, something maybe. I wonder. Okay, let's do something here. I want to check the electrical part of the injectors. I think the electrical part of the injectors are working because we didn't have any electrical codes for the injectors. We had a contribution fault. So contribution fault means that the computer is realizing that some of these injectors are not contributing. So let's go ahead and read the key on, engine off. So let's turn the key on, and we're just going to check, make sure the electrical portion of these injectors are good. I feel pretty confident they are. Yep. Okay, so
Zone 1. Cumberland 911.
alright, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go into live data. I want to know what my fuel pressure is doing when we lose the accelerator. The fuel pump, the lift pump is really noisy. I wonder, just really wonder if we've got something going on with our fuel. If that's the case, we don't want to drive this thing too much because this has the notorious CP4 in it, and we don't want to starve the notorious CP4 for fuel. The only thing is usually it'll throw a low fuel pressure fault. So let's come in here. Okay, so we have fuel rail pressure A, show selected. Now let's just see. Okay, so 4,000.
Cumberland 911.
4,000 PSI. So got interrupted there. Let's see here. Alright, off we go. 28,000. 28,000. Still good. And we're losing. Yeah, we have no fuel pressure. No fuel pressure whatsoever. Okay. So we lose fuel pressure. Now the question is, do we have faults in the PCM? So let's check for faults again. Let's do trouble codes. Come on here. Key on, engine running. Let's just do this one. And that's literally the only thing.
Zone
okay.
1. Cumberland 911.
Alright, so we'll have to shut it off. Let's retrieve continuous memory DTCs.
Zone 1.
No trouble codes.
Cumberland 911.
I think we have a fuel pressure problem, is what I think we have here.
Zone 1.
So how about, let's pull this thing inside and we're gonna check our fuel pump. Like I said, the fuel pump, the lift pump sounds really noisy, which is unusual. Let's just check all of that. I want to see what our low pressure, maybe I can come in here. Let's see if there's a, pull over here. See if there's a low pressure fuel monitoring PID here. Okay, so there is a Show selected. Alright, so for some reason, oh yeah, we are losing all kinds of fuel pressure. Alright, okay, that's what we needed to know. Let's go ahead and get back to the shop. Why that's not setting a low fuel pressure fault, I don't know. But we need to check our filters. And let's not do this more than we have to, because this truck, this CP4 does not need an excuse to fail. So let's get back to the shop. We'll pull the filters. Let's see what we find. All right, so we have pulled our air compressor. So we've pulled our fuel filter out of here, and look at there. This thing is extremely dirty. It has all of these little flakes all over it. This looks like a liner from the tank that got sucked up in there. I'm going to recommend that we drop the tank on this thing, because this is an ambulance. This needs to be reliable. And I think that this stuff is probably stuck in the pickup tube as well. We're going to recommend dropping the tank, flushing the lines up to the fuel filter. I'm going to change the fuel filters. We'll see if that takes care of our problem, or do we need a lift pump on top of this yet? So I don't know. Stay tuned on this one. This is an interesting one. I've never seen this before. So we've got this fuel tank out of the bottom of the ambulance, and look what we found. I don't know if you guys can see that. However, the inner lining of this tank is coming apart, or it's coming loose. And it's getting caught up in the pickup tube. And if we look in the pickup tube, that's what we have down there. Yeah, this is why we were not getting any power. We've also got a fuel filter that's coated with it. You know, and I'm not sure why they even decided to coat that fuel tank on the inside to begin with. But we're going to try to clean that all up and get as much of that out. We're going to get all of this out. If we can't get it all out, we're going to put a new sending unit in here. But we're going to get this cleaned up, make sure that everything's free and clear, and put this back together, and it should run much better. All right, customer has decided, rightfully so, to go with a stainless steel tank. What do you think of that, Hoss? What do you think? Good idea? All right, he doesn't know. This is a stainless steel tank. There was an option for a plastic tank. Customer wants to go with a stainless steel, so it's all nice and shiny inside. It looks like the same thing we've got here. I decided against trying to clean this one. I tried it and it didn't work very well. Plus, I was a little concerned about it leaking because of the liner being gone. So we're going to switch this over to there, put this tank in, fill it back up with fuel, and let's see what happens. But it should work. It also came with a new ring and a new seal. I will put a link down below for the tank. I got this one off of Rock Auto, so I'll put a link down below for that tank. This seems like a pretty good quality tank, and it's a lot cheaper than OEM. So let's see how it fits. All right, we're back on this ambulance, and we have put a new fuel tank in it. Got that all put back together, got our fuel put in there. We did filter the fuel as it went in. There was really nothing wrong with the fuel except that it was contaminated with the lamination on the inside of the fuel tank that was in this truck. Now, for some reason, Ford has had a problem with these things, and I don't know why they didn't. I mean, they might have fixed it eventually, but yeah. So now we're going to see if we fix the issue. I know that the filter, when I went to rebleed the fuel system, I did put another set of fuel filters on it. So when I first tried it, after finding what I did in the fuel filters, I put new fuel filters on it. But then once I found that it's in the fuel tank, I got to take the fuel tank out. I put another set of fuel filters in it just because I didn't want to take any chances. So the second time, the fuel definitely bled a lot quicker. The air came out of the system a lot better. So I know it's pumping a lot more fuel. Also, we can see that 78 pounds of low side fuel pressure is good. So, if you remember that before, when I would get onto it at all, we would start to lose pressure. So I'm gonna push it pretty hard. We're at 65 and we're not dropping below 74 pounds of pressure at all. So this thing runs much better than what it did. This problem is now solved and should be solved once and for all. That stainless steel tank has no lamination on it and does not have a chance of that coming loose. I think they made a wise choice in going with a stainless steel tank. It was just a tad bit more expensive, but it's also expensive to have to redo this again. So they opted to do the right thing and go with a stainless steel fuel tank. So we're going to call this one a success. And yeah, I'd like for you guys to let me know what you thought of this problem, and have you ever seen this before? I guess this, I'll be honest, this is the first time I've ever seen this happen. So yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I want you guys to have yourselves a wonderful day. I know it's a gorgeous day here in Illinois. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you guys anything, and it helps me out tremendously. I sure appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Bye.